If you are not sure whether it's a defect, just mark it as a defect. And today we talk about defect check. So for defect check, you can either hire a professional defects checker or you can choose to do it yourself. Just for your information, to hire someone, it will cost roughly about $200 to $400 depending on whether it's a 3-room or 4-room or 2-room BTO. I highly recommend hiring someone because this is going to save you a lot of time. Just for your information, we chose to do it ourselves and it takes about half a day or even one full day to go through the entire unit to look for defects. So why did we choose to do it ourselves? Reason number one is because we opted out for all the OCS components. That means that we do not have all the living room tiles and we also do not have all the bedroom tiles as well. And additionally, we do not have any doors, we do not have any bathroom fittings and also the vanity to check. Secondly, after the initial walkthrough, we have noticed that there's not a lot of defects in the entire unit in general. A lot of homeowners in our estate group chat has also mentioned that the units are in relatively good condition, not a lot of major defects. And that is why we feel that this is something that we can manage by ourselves. So with that, let's talk about a list of items that you can bring to your unit during defects inspection. So the first item that you need to bring is a number lock or a bicycle chain. And the reason why we need to bring this is because when you're going to lock your door, the BSC inspection team is going to rectify while you're not around and they will need to have access to your unit. So this is very important. The next item that we have on our list is very obvious. It's going to be your masking tape and your marker. I don't think I need to explain more on this, right? You know what to do with this. Next, what you want to do is to bring some cloth. So the reason why we need to bring a cloth is because sometimes defects might be hard to see. You cannot differentiate whether it's dirt or is it an actual defect or an actual scratch. So a cloth will help, right? Just wipe away all the dirt and then check whether it's a defect or not. So next on the list, you can choose to bring a step ladder. This is because you will need to access those higher areas to look for defects. Maybe you have defects near the ceiling area, maybe you have defects on the top of your door that you cannot see. So this step ladder is going to be very useful for that purpose. The next item on the list is our bucket over here. You need a bucket to fill up water to do your water ponding test and also to flood the kitchen so that you know whether there's any water ponding or not. So for those of you who opted out of OCS, right, it is very important that you bring a water pipe, a water hose like this. This is because, right, if you opted out for OCS, you do not even have a vanity and the only source of water outlet is going to be in your service now. I'll show you later. So here's how the toilet looks like if you opted out of OCS. As you can see, there's not even a sink or a vanity for you to test your water. You can see there's nothing over here. And therefore, the only access to your water outlet is going to be inside your service yard. Okay, as you can see over here in this tab. So what you need to bring is this water hose so that you can run it to your bucket to fill up water for your ponding test.
This is a time lapse of our master bathroom, and what you want to do is to flood the entire floor area, give it some time, and then look for water puddles. As you can see, there's some ponding near the top, so make sure to flag it out to the BSC. Same for the other bathroom as well. For those of you who are doing a shower curb, it is especially important for the tile to slope towards the floor trap. Otherwise, you end up with a water trap in the shower area. In this kind of scenario, BSC will have to hack the tile out and then re-tile with the proper gradient.
The next item on the list is this socket tester, or you can bring a mobile phone charger. So basically, turn on all your electricity supply and go and test one by one all the electrical outlets and sockets. This is a socket tester. We bought this for about $5 to $6 on Shopee. What you can do is to just plug this into the wall, okay, and turn this on. After turning it on, you can see two lights over here which indicates that this is correct. If it's anything but two lights, this can mean that there's an error in the circuitry behind the power point. Alternatively, you can just use your phone charger, plug this into every other socket that you were given, and see whether your phone is charging. Simple as that. The next item is a very, very important one. You need a torchlight. Okay, you need to get the strongest torchlight that you can find. I'm not sure you can see. And this is going to be very important. I will show you later. So here's why it is so important to bring a torchlight. So can you see there are some scratches over here in our door frames? So for some of us, right, we might not be able to spot this very easily. And here's what happens when you have a torchlight. Okay, can you see that the scratches are much more obvious now? So minor wall defects like this can be very easy to miss. So bring a torchlight so that you can see it properly. Okay, can you see? So next, if you're going to check for your tiles, it is important to bring a tapping rod like this so that you can tap all the tiles and check for any hollowness inside. So next, we are going to check for hollow tiles, and what you can do is to use your tapping rod over here and go and tap through every single tile that you can find in your unit. Okay, just tap like this. And the moment you find a hollow tile, right, the sound is going to be very different as compared to when it's properly done. Let me show you what I mean. So we have ran through the entire unit and we cannot actually find any hollow tile. Let me show you how it sounds like, the differences. So this is when it's properly done, this is when it's hollow. So this is a floor trap over here. Can you tell the difference? Next, you can bring a long ruler or an even longer ruler. So next, we are going to check for uneven tiles. So what you can do is to bring your ruler or your credit card or your long ruler and just do a swipe through. It should not get stuck in between. And if you have a long ruler like this, what you can also do is to just keep swiping. Just keep swiping like this. It's going to be a lot faster as well. So what you can also do is to use your torchlight over here and shine on the floor. So ideally, right, it should be like this. There's no shadow. What you can see over here is there's a bit of a shadow over here, so it's a little bit uneven. So it's up to you whether you want to mark this as uneven tiles. I think for me it's okay, but I'm still going to mark this anyway. Okay. And paste it over here for the BSC to check. So you take a long ruler over here, okay, you flush it against the wall, and take my torchlight over here, right, and put it underneath. What you can see is the light can pass through at the corner over here. This means that the wall is not even, unlike over here. So what this means is that if you're going to put a vanity flushing over here at this corner, there's going to be a small gap over here. So this might be something you want to highlight to BSC, and I flag it out as not 90 degrees. For the windows, make sure you open up all the windows and make sure there's no creaking sound. Can you hear? Can you hear the creaking sound? Make sure to flag this out to BSC as a defect. And also make sure that all your window frames, there's no rust on the window frames, and there's no cracks like what you can see over here. Right, these are some of the cracks that you should be flagging out to the BSC. And make sure that all your handles do not come loose. We heard some stories of these handles being pulled out after a couple of times. So this is the top of our bedroom door. As you can see, there's some cracks over here in the corner. And apart from that, right, I'm not sure you can see if I put my camera over here that there's an actual bend on the top of the bedroom door itself, where the center portion is lower. So if I were to put my long ruler, let me try this out, over here, my long ruler over here, you can actually see that there's a gap at the center. So what this means is that the door frame is actually not straight. Okay, so be sure to highlight this out to the BSC. Okay, can you see that? there's a gap in the middle. Right? Next, bring some stools, okay? Bring some chairs so that you can sit around. There's not a lot of place that you can sit around when it comes to a bare unit, unless you want to sit on the floor, by all means. And lastly, bring a lot of water. Defects inspection can be very hot at times. There's no aircon, there's no fan, so you will need to drink a lot of water. And so here's a quick tip. The moment you collect your keys, make sure to book your BSC joint inspection appointment as soon as possible and not to wait. And the reason is because the next earliest available slot might be in 1 or 2 weeks' time. And what you'll want to do is to do your defect check in between these 1 or 2 weeks so that BSC can come down just in time to do a joint walkthrough together with you. And this is to ensure that there will not be any further delays to your renovation timeline. And the last tip that I can offer is, if you're unsure of whether it's a defect or not, just label it as a defect and let BSC clarify that with you. So if it turns out that it's not a defect, at least you have done your part to highlight them to BSC.
And that is all for today's video. All the best in your defect check, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!